Hey everyone, and a huge, warm welcome back to the channel. To every single person watching this right now, wherever you are in the world, I am sending you the biggest, most positive vibes. I truly hope you're feeling fantastic, happy, and most importantly, healthy today. Take a deep breath, relax, and let's go on a little adventure together to a place that feels like it's been lifted straight out of a storybook. Now, I want you to think about your street. Think about the sound of cars driving by, the sight of people walking on the sidewalks, the feel of the pavement under your feet. Our entire world is built around roads. They connect us, they define our neighborhoods, they are the arteries of our modern life. But what if I told you there is an entire village, a real, functioning, living community that has none of that? No roads, no cars, no traffic lights, no honking horns. Not a single one. Instead, imagine a world where the gentle lapping of water is the constant soundtrack, where your morning commute is by boat, and where the main street is a serene, sparkling canal. This isn't a fantasy or a historical recreation, it's a real place. Welcome to Giethoorn, a village in the Netherlands known as the Venice of the North, where the only roads are made of water. To understand how such a magical place came to be, we have to go back in time, centuries ago, to the founding of this unique village. The story begins with a group of fugitives, settlers from the Mediterranean region, who arrived in this swampy, isolated part of the Netherlands around the 13th century. When they got there, they discovered two things that would define their new home forever. First, the land was incredibly peat-rich. Peat is a kind of soil made from decomposed plant material, and it was a valuable source of fuel back then. So, the settlers began to dig. They excavated the peat to sell it for fuel, and over generations, these digging operations created deep pits and holes all over the area. The second thing they discovered was an enormous amount of wild goat horns, left behind from a massive flood that had wiped out the local goat herds years before. They named their settlement Giethoorn, which later became Giethoorn, meaning goat horn. Now, back to all that digging. All those pits and holes they created slowly began to fill with water from the high water table and rainfall, forming a network of ponds and lakes. Over time, these individual bodies of water connected, creating the intricate web of canals that we see today. The settlers, being incredibly practical and adaptive people, didn't see this as a problem. They saw it as an opportunity. Instead of building roads between the islands of dry land that were separated by water, they decided to use the water itself as their highway. They built their farms and houses on these little islands, and they used boats to travel, to transport goods, and to communicate with their neighbors. It wasn't a design choice made for tourists. It was a simple, brilliant solution born out of necessity and the very landscape they had helped to create. So, what is it actually like to live in a place with no roads? Let's paint a picture of a day in the life in Giethoorn. You wake up in your charming, thatched roof farmhouse, which sits on its own little private island. The first sound you hear isn't the rumble of a garbage truck or the rush of morning traffic. It's the quiet quacking of ducks outside your window and the soft sound of a wooden punt gliding through the canal. You need to get some groceries. You don't hop in your car, you walk out your back door, untie your whisper-quiet electric boat. Traditional motorboats are mostly banned to keep the peace, and you putter along the canal to the village store, which has its own dock for customers. Your kids need to get to school. The school boat comes to pick them up, much like a school bus would, but far more scenic. The postman delivers mail by boat. Even the local police have their own patrol boat. The main form of transportation for everyone is the whisper boat, or vloesterboot, a small, electric-powered boat that glides almost silently through the water, preserving the incredible tranquility of the village. For longer distances or to connect to the outside world, there are cycling paths and walking trails that run along the canals, connecting Giethoorn to the rest of the Netherlands. But within the heart of the village, the boat is king. It's not just a novelty. It's a deeply ingrained part of the culture and the daily rhythm of life. The entire layout of the village is designed around this aquatic life. There are over 180 charming wooden arch bridges that connect the islands, allowing people to walk or bike to their neighbors' houses. But if you need to move anything larger than a backpack, a piece of furniture, a new appliance, bags of soil for your garden, you're going to need a boat. Imagine the coordination. The canals are the lifelines, and they dictate the pace of everything. Life moves slower here. You can't rush when you're navigating a narrow canal, waving to a neighbor as you pass. This forced slowness fosters an incredible sense of community. Everyone knows everyone. It's a place where people still stop to chat over the water, where the pace of life is determined by the currents and the seasons, not by a hectic schedule. The architecture is perfectly adapted to this environment. The famous thatched roofs are not just for show, they're a traditional and effective form of insulation. The houses are painted in beautiful, classic Dutch styles, and each one is surrounded by immaculate, colorful gardens, creating a picture postcard scene around every bend in the canal. It feels like a living museum, but it's simply home for the people who live there. Of course, this fairy tale existence also comes with its own set of unique challenges. Think about something as simple as moving house. How do you get a couch into a home that's on an island? You need a large, flat-bottomed barge and a lot of careful planning. Winter brings a whole new dimension to life. When the canals freeze over, the boats are put away, and the entire village transforms into a sprawling ice skating rink. The canals become highways of ice, and everyone, from kids to grandparents, skates to get around. It's a magical sight, but it also requires constant maintenance to ensure the paths are safe. And then there are the tourists. The secret of Giethoorn's beauty is definitely out. In the summer, the narrow canals can get crowded with visitors renting boats, and the quiet peace can sometimes be challenged. The villagers have had to find a balance between sharing their unique home with the world and preserving the serene way of life that makes it so special in the first place. They've managed it beautifully, maintaining the village's charm while welcoming people from all over the globe. Giethoorn is more than just a tourist attraction. It's a powerful example of how humans can live in harmony with their environment. Instead of fighting the water, the people of Giethoorn embraced it. They built their world around it, and in doing so, they created something truly unique and sustainable. In a world that is constantly getting faster, louder, and more connected, Giethoorn stands as a beautiful reminder of a different pace of life. It shows us that sometimes, the most incredible innovations aren't about building something new and complex, but about adapting to what nature has given you in the simplest, most elegant way possible. It's a testament to human ingenuity and a celebration of quiet, community-focused living. So, the next time you're stuck in traffic, just close your eyes for a second. Imagine trading the honking cars for the gentle sound of water, the paved streets for shimmering canals, and the rush hour for the glide of a boat. Imagine a village with no roads, and you'll be imagining the peaceful, magical reality of Giethoorn.